Not just an ordinary person but a mentally ill patient. Wow. Silence, Your Honor. This is the psychological report of the witness Qiao Zilin. The report states that the witness has been seeing a psychologist since the age of 10. Yes, since the age of 10. Ah, it's 10 years old. So you have an older brother. Right, I didn't remember wrong, did I? Miss Qiao objects. The defense lawyer's question is irrelevant to the case. Your Honor, why and when did the witness develop this illness? And his condition is absolutely related to this case. Objection overruled, but defense lawyer, you need to get to the point quickly. Thank you, Your Honor. Why does the witness have this psychological illness? Because when the witness was 9 years old, he witnessed his brother being swept away by a big wave, and he stood helplessly on the shore. The death of a close relative. He has been seeing a psychologist for over 10 years. And at the time of the incident, the witness once again witnessed his relative being shot. And he himself once again suffered a mental breakdown from the shock. At that time, the witness's mental state and thoughts had fallen into a state of extreme confusion. Your Honor, I have reason to suspect that the witness did not have sufficient cognitive ability to understand the entire process of the event. You simply couldn't distinguish who was the one who fired the shot, and who was the one trying to stop the shooter from firing again. Isn't that right? At the same time, you watched your uncle being shot. Just like back then, when you watched your brother being swept away by the big wave. You blame yourself, you feel useless, and you want to make amends. So you couldn't clearly see who fired the shot. You just wanted to convict someone quickly, as if you were doing something for your uncle, to ease your own conscience. And my client was just unlucky. In a two-choice situation, you chose him. Isn't that right, isn't it?
I don't know. Stop asking. Stop asking me.
Zilin, silence. Your Honor, I request a temporary adjournment. The court grants your request. Given the witness's extreme emotional instability, the court hereby declares a temporary adjournment. We will reconvene later.
Daddy. Shenyang Group was previously raided by the police. Two of its leaders, Xiongyi and Xiongyong, engaged in a shootout with the police while evading capture. Both were shot dead on the spot.
Oh. Xiongfei's trial starts tomorrow. Miss Qiao will testify. Although on the surface the Xiong Group has collapsed, there are still many other people on the periphery. There's no guarantee they won't cause a major massacre during the operation. This meeting room will serve as a temporary monitoring center. I will be here monitoring the entire time. This is a critical moment. Anything can happen. Everyone stay flexible. Yes, sir. This Xiongfei is really crazy. He's already in custody. Yet he can still remotely cause trouble outside. Alright, Mr. Qiao, I'll go out and inform all the societies. If there's any movement, notify me immediately. Brother, I made cat poop coffee. Young Mr. Qiao. You guys talk, I'll come back later. Still discussing Xiongfei's case. Then I'll leave, Mr. Qiao. Brother, you guys really finished talking? I don't necessarily have to be present. You said we're brothers for life. Do we have to talk about everything? But these trivial matters are not necessary. But what's wrong with Zhao Liang? Didn't he wash his face? His face is all red. Hey, what are you smiling about now? This case is going to trial tomorrow. Zilin is going to court. You're his uncle, aren't you worried? You're really biased. I'm also going to court tomorrow. Aren't you worried about me? Are you still messing with me? Zilin is the only eyewitness in this case. His testimony is crucial. I know, but recently Zilin has been doing well. Like a new person, don't worry. Brother, and Kelly is with him. Can Kelly accompany him to court? It's a courtroom, not a restaurant. Hey. I don't know if he can handle such a big pressure. There's no way to predict what will happen to Zilin.
Don't worry, Mr. Xiao Zilin's condition is stable. I have a lot of confidence in him.
I also have a lot of confidence in Kelly. If Kelly says it's okay, then it's okay, big brother, don't worry. Similarly, I also have a lot of confidence in Ziline. Is Ziline really Ziline?
Yes.
Okay. The defendant, please stand up. Defendant Xiongfei. You are charged on October 20th of this year with the murder of foreign national David Linton Jones and the attempted murder of Chinese national Qia Jiang. Then my head started to hurt really badly. After that I must have passed out. If I didn't expect him, a man, to be so petty. If he didn't like what he heard, he would shoot. Was that necessary? Fortunately, my life is tough enough. Thank you, Your Honor. I have no further questions. Calling the witness of this case, Xiao Zilin. Miss Xiao Zilin, please tell us. At 6 p.m. on the day of the incident, where were you and what were you doing?
That day I finished practicing with the orchestra and drove home alone. Around 6 o'clock, I arrived outside the gate of my house.
Is outside the gate of your house the scene of the crime?
Yes.
Miss Chiao, can you please tell us what you saw at that time? I saw my second uncle very drunk, staggering into the big iron gate of the house. Then, I saw someone with a gun following my second uncle. Then that person pointed the gun at my second uncle. The second uncle you mentioned, is he the victim of this case, Qia Jiang? Then what did you see?
After that, that person shot my second uncle. Then my second uncle lay on the ground.
Then can you recognize the person who shot your second uncle? That is the victim of this case, Qia Jiang.
I can recognize him.
Is he now in this courtroom? Please point him out.
It's him.
Thank you, Miss Chiao. Your Honor, I'm done asking. So how was it? How did Ziline do when she was testifying?
She was great, very calm. She was even brave enough to point out the killer on the spot.
I told you, Ziline, you can do it. You're amazing. That was really good just now. But later when the defense lawyer questions you, just do the same as before. Defense lawyer, you may begin. Miss Chiao, according to your testimony, at the time of the incident, did you see my client and the victim? And were there other people present?
Yes.
Can you elaborate a bit more?
After second uncle was shot, it seemed like the killer wanted to shoot again. At that moment, someone suddenly rushed over to try to stop it. Then the two of them were struggling. After that, I heard another gunshot. But that shot hit someone else.
At that time you were sitting in your own car. As for the time of the incident, it was around 6 p.m. just after sunset. And the location of the incident was also a relatively quiet residential area, not many streetlights. You were sitting in your own car. Your view must have been somewhat obstructed. In such dim lighting, you couldn't possibly see clearly who was shooting.
No, I saw it very clearly.
The shooter wasn't my client. You're mistaken.
No. The shooter was him.
It was him, in fact. The shooter was actually my client's driver. The person you mentioned who tried to stop the killer from shooting the victim again was actually my client. The shooter wasn't him. You've got the wrong person, Miss Chiao. No.
That's not how it was.
Objection. What the defense lawyer said is just one-sided speculation. There is no factual basis, absolutely based on facts. The confession of my client's driver already admits everything, because he was furious when he saw the victim Qiajiang verbally insulting my client Xiongfei. So he became extremely angry. He picked up a gun and shot the victim. There are living witnesses, and there's also a written confession. Support, Your Honor. The inference I just made is absolutely reasonable and logical. Objection overruled. Counsel for the defense, you may continue. Thank you, Ms. Chiao. You personally witnessed your second uncle being shot? How did you feel at that time?
I was very scared at that moment.
Of course. Anyone seeing this kind of situation would be afraid. But witness, you're not just anyone. You're someone with a psychological disorder. Order in court. Your Honor, this is the psychological report of the witness Qiao Zilin. The report states that since the age of 10 the witness has been seeing a psychologist regularly. Oh, at the age of 10? So you had an older brother, right? I didn't get it wrong, did I? Ms. Qiao objects. The questions from the defense attorney are irrelevant to this case. Your Honor, why and when the witness started having this illness, and how their condition relates directly to this case. Objection overruled. But counsel for the defense, you need to get to the point soon. Thank you, Your Honor. Why does the witness have this mental illness? It's because when the witness was 9 years old, they watched their older brother being swept away by a big wave, and they could do nothing but stand on the shore. The death of a close family member. They'd been seeing a psychologist for over 10 years. And at the time of the incident, the witness once again witnessed their own family member get shot. And once again they themselves suffered a shock severe enough to cause a mental breakdown. At that moment the mental state and thoughts of the witness had fallen into an extremely chaotic state. Your Honor, I have reason to believe the witness lacks the cognitive ability to comprehend the entire sequence of events. You can't even distinguish who actually fired the shot and who tried to stop the shooter from firing again. Isn't that right? Meanwhile, you watched your uncle get shot. Just like the time you saw your brother swept away by the waves. You feel guilty, you think you're useless, and you desperately want to make amends, so you can't really see who fired the shot. You just want to convict someone quickly, to do something for your uncle, to ease your own conscience. And my client is just unlucky, being the one you chose in a 50-50 situation. Isn't that right?
I don't know. Stop asking me. Stop asking me.
Zilin, order in the court. Your Honor, I request a recess. The court grants your request. Given the witness's extreme emotional instability, the court declares a recess and will reconvene later.
Daddy.
The defense's strategy is quite clear. They're using Ms. Chiao's psychological condition to question the credibility of her testimony, to make the jury doubt Ms. Chiao's testimony. Is it necessary for lawyer 1 to have Zilin testify again? Given the current situation and pressure, I'm afraid he can't handle it. Ms. Chiao is the only eyewitness. To convict Xiongfei, we must rely on her. If Ms. Chiao doesn't testify, we can't win. But if Ms. Chiao testifies again, the defense will keep attacking this point. Not only will Ms. Chiao suffer, but the jury won't believe her testimony either. We'll lose either way.
I'm Zilin's psychologist. I can provide Zilin's recent psychological evaluation report, proving his mental state was completely stable before the incident.
Psychological evaluation is of course important, but the most crucial thing is the witness's performance in court tomorrow. By the way, how is Ms. Chiao doing now? She seems fine on the surface. She went to sleep right after she got back yesterday. She hasn't left her room since last night.
Don't worry, Mr. Chiao, as long as we give Zilin enough space, he will definitely calm down soon.
Even if we don't pressure him, he will put pressure on himself. If he pushes himself too hard when it's time to go to court, I'm afraid he might break down.
Mr. Chiao, you need to understand that you are Zilin's emotional support, so you can't be nervous, because your nervousness will affect him.
Zileen, ha ha ha. Daddy, what are you staring at so intently? Hey, eat something. I'm not hungry, Sister Coon said. You haven't eaten all day. Have a little.
Daddy, I know you're worried that I won't be able to handle it in court tomorrow, but don't worry, I'm mentally prepared. It won't be like yesterday.
Daddy has 100% confidence in you. I know you can do it. Hey, it's okay. I won't disturb your reading, but don't stay up too late. Ah, hey, be careful not to cut yourself. Hey, is that so? Is that so? Sit down. Sister Coon, Sister Coon.
I'm so scared, I'm really scared. I'm afraid I'll be like that again in court tomorrow. Then we can't sue Xiongfei. I'm afraid I'll mess things up.
Hey, don't think like that. No one will blame you. Everyone knows you did your best.
Because everyone has put in a lot of effort. I don't want to fail to sue Xiongfei because of my illness. I'm afraid of wasting everyone's efforts. I don't want to let everyone down.
Daughter, thinking like this will only put pressure on yourself.
Daddy, I feel so useless. I'm really useless. I don't know what to do. Daddy, I don't know what to do. I'm so scared no matter what happens.
Daddy will stand by your side and face it with you. It's okay, it's okay. I thought you were good at playing instruments. Who knew you were even better at throwing hidden weapons?
I only missed because I used too much force.
Do you need to use that much force to play the cello? Or were you distracted and that's why you missed? Worried about tomorrow's court appearance.
I feel so useless. I know my testimony is important, but I just can't seem to help. And now everyone is worried about me. I hate myself.
Let me tell you my story. When I was a kid, there was a fire at home. At that time, I saw my parents lying on the ground. No matter how I called them, they wouldn't wake up. I already knew they were dead. But I was so scared. I didn't know what to do. I just kept crying. And then the fire came closer, and at that moment, the uncle next door came and saved me. He carried me and we climbed down the water pipe. But even when we reached the street, I was still scared. I kept crying. Then the uncle tapped me on the head twice and told me, "You're a man. You have to hold on." It was like a spell. After that, I really wasn't scared anymore. I really held on, and I've been holding on until now. There are always many difficulties in life. But don't scare yourself. Have confidence in yourself. Tell yourself to hold on. When I went to the orphanage and saw the kids, I was nervous, scared, but I used this trick. It works every time. You've grown up. You have to hold on.
Do you think I'm a little girl?
Why think so much? Just remember one thing. You have to hold on. You came to lose her for something. Wei Chen. Today is Miss Chiao's last court appearance. Is everything arranged? Yes, it's arranged. Bao Tai and the others are ready to leave. I'll catch up later. Is there a problem? Yes, there is. Mr. Chiao thinks that every time Miss Chiao is in danger, you can protect her. He believes that being by Miss Chiao's side gives her a sense of security. So today Miss Chiao will continue to testify in court. Mr. Chiao hopes you can be in the courtroom. He believes this can stabilize Miss Chiao's emotions, allowing her to testify with peace of mind. Let's go. Your Honor, I would like to present to Your Honor and the jury a research report published by the World Authority on Psychology at the beginning of this year. This report indicates that in today's society 1 in every 5 adults suffers from varying degrees of psychological illness. That is to say, psychological illness is very common in society, just like the common cold. With appropriate treatment, it can be completely cured. Your Honor, allow me to present another report. This report is about Miss Chiao Zilin. Over the past few years, written by her psychologist. It states that after appropriate treatment, Ms. Chiao's psychological illness has been completely cured. Therefore, the defense questions the witness's judgment due to psychological illness is just a baseless assumption by the defense, completely inconsistent with the facts. This report tells us that Ms. Chiao has normal judgment and cognitive abilities. She is a witness who can be absolutely trusted. Ms. Chiao, you seem to be in good spirits today. This report indicates that your psychological illness is a kind of post-traumatic stress disorder. When your psychological illness flares up, you are very afraid of going to crowded places and even extremely afraid of meeting strangers because it makes you feel tense. Isn't it? Your Honor, I object to the defense attorney's question because the report states that the witness has fully recovered. Your Honor, the defense just wants to verify that the witness has normal judgment and cognitive abilities to ensure my client receives a fair and just trial. Objection overruled. Witness, please answer the question. Thank you. Miss Chiao, I just asked if you are very afraid of going to crowded places and very afraid of meeting strangers. Yes, of course. Because once when you were shopping at the mall bookstore, you deliberately sent away your bodyguard, and as a result you got caught up in a gunfight at the mall and almost lost your life. Isn't that right? Miss Chiao, you deliberately sent away your bodyguard because you are very afraid of interacting with strangers, which means your mental illness hasn't been cured at all. Isn't it?
I'm already fine.
Miss Chiao, I know you're a good person. I also know you don't want an innocent person to go to jail because of your own misjudgment. If you really haven't recovered from your mental illness, everyone will understand.
No, I'm already fine. I'm not sick, you have to believe me. I've truly recovered, believe me.
Witness, please control your emotions. Otherwise, I will consider suspending your testimony. Miss Chiao, at the time of the incident, were you so shocked and emotionally unstable that your mental illness relapsed and affected your judgment? So you didn't clearly see if it was me who fired the shot, Miss Chiao? Miss Chiao, please answer my question. Miss Chiao, please answer my question.
I saw very clearly. At that time I wasn't influenced by emotions. I saw very clearly. It was the defendant who shot my uncle.
But according to the police report, my client's driver has admitted that he was the one who fired the shot. Not my client. You must have seen it wrong.
No, I didn't see it wrong. It was his driver pulling the defendant, stopping him from firing a second shot. The driver never fired a shot.
As I've already said, at that time it was my client trying to stop his driver from firing, and in such chaos they had an argument. How could you possibly have clearly seen that it was my client who fired the shot? All of this is just your imagination.
Not only did I see, but I also heard his driver run forward, grabbing the defendant and shouting loudly, "Brother Fei, don't do anything reckless." So I'm very sure it was the defendant who shot my uncle.
After deliberation, the jury has unanimously decided Xiongfei is guilty of murder and manslaughter. This court hereby officially declares the defendant Xiongfei is guilty of murder and manslaughter and is sentenced to life imprisonment according to the law. What kind of judge are you? Do you even understand the law? What kind of judge is this? You're a jerk, a total jerk.